The last time I vlogged, I was overtrained and tired, and now I'm happy to report that I am well rested after my vacation in Ormond Beach, Florida. Only took about 3 or 4 days off the bike before I started to feel better, so I caught it in time. So like I said, celebrating my wedding anniversary with my awesome wife. I've had a great time. Did a lot of cool things. Yesterday rented a Harley Fat Boy, drove it around Daytona and Ormond Beach, found some really cool roads north of Ormond Beach. Went to a really cool brewery last night, Ormond Brewing Company. If you're ever in the area, check it out. And if you go there, ask for Gilbert. Gilbert was awesome. Taught us a lot about the brewery and gave us a tour, a little private tour of the brewery. So really passionate about what he does. It was really cool talking to him. That's Ormond Brewing Company. Today we rented stand-up paddle boards. Never done that before, and paddleboarded in the Halifax River. Stayed out of the ocean because wasn't too rough, but you know, first time paddleboarding, probably not a good idea to go in the ocean. So like I said, never done that before. Done a lot of kayaking, but never stand-up paddleboarding. So yeah, I'm feeling good, ready to pack it back up, head back to Gainesville. Looking forward to getting back on the bike. So I wanted to spend a couple of minutes on this vlog talking about resting and overtraining and how important it is to rest. I mentioned in that vlog I did last time that I typically will do 3 weeks on, 1 week off when I get into my harder seasons of riding. And that's a pretty good rule to abide by, and I had gotten away from that when I started doing the testing, and that's why I think I started to get overtrained. Like I said, talk about that, talk about the importance of not going hard every day. You know, for us who work full-time, I think that riding a couple hard rides in the week and maybe a longer ride, so I wouldn't do more than 3 hard rides in 1 week. Then also periodizing your training, so you really want to make sure you're not going hard all year round. You know, you got your race season maybe if you do that, and then having some parts of the season where you just ride for fun. My riding for fun season usually starts around January and then goes for a couple months, and then I get into my endurance season. So let's talk about a couple symptoms of overtraining. One is you just feel fatigued, obviously. But like I said in the first vlog, my sleep pattern gets a little off, and if you're not sleeping well, like you're tired but you can't fall asleep, that's a pretty good sign that you're overtrained. Also, lack of appetite, and I actually had that for the last couple weeks. My appetite wasn't as strong as it usually is. I eat a lot. I don't eat a lot at one time, but I eat a lot during the day, just smaller meals throughout the day, and I just didn't have an appetite. And so that's a symptom of overtraining. Getting grumpy, just getting irritable, is a pretty good sign that you're overtrained. If you find yourself getting sick a lot, getting a lot of colds, that's a pretty good sign that you're overtrained. If you have wounds that don't heal as quick as they usually do. And again, you can't look at all these little symptoms, you know, separate. You got to look at them together. So if you have a few of these symptoms, if you don't have the power output that you normally have, if you start getting dropped by people that normally you can drop or at least hang with, that's a pretty good sign that your fitness is starting to wane because you're getting overtrained. The trap that a lot of cyclists get into is when that happens, they feel like they're not training hard enough, and then they go out and they train harder and they get even more overtrained. And like I said when I made that vlog last time, it can take a while to recover. So fortunately I caught it and took time off and recovered quickly. So after about a week, I'm going to be back to normal. If you get way overtrained, you keep pushing it further and further into that zone, then it can take several weeks, months, and I've even read online that if you just completely waste yourself in overtraining, it could take a year to recover before you get back to the levels that you were at before. So rest is very important. A lot of you out there are probably like me, where you don't rest like you should. My wife has taught me the importance of rest. It's very important as a cyclist. So what happens when you're training is you break your body down, and then the rest allows your body to be built back up. And that's why rest is just as important as training hard. So that's my short vlog for today, talking about the importance of rest and recognizing overtraining. I do want to mention that after riding the Harley Fat Boy, that's the first time I'd ridden Harley, by the way. I've owned 3 Suzuki S650s years ago and a Kawasaki ZS750, but that was the first time riding a Harley. I do like sport bikes better. I like the more aggressive riding position, and I like leaning into the wind, sitting back on a Harley. It was really windy, like super windy that day, and we were supposed to go paddleboarding on that day and decided to rent a Harley. It was just kind of a wild hare. Didn't even have the right really clothing for it, so, but it was still fun. But it's honestly made me want to get a motorcycle again. I'm not going to, but I really used to love riding motorcycles. Only need one expensive hobby right now. So that's my vlog for today. Make sure you rest if you start to feel overtrained. Catch you in the next one.